Summertime, så du min og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, honey, honey, solen danser, du og jeg. Hver evig eneste morgen, der går jeg i skoven. Jeg tager min gummier på, giver hunden snor og synger tar, la 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 la. Om det regner og sner, eller der sol for øjen, yeah, yeah. Så byder jeg stille bånd for dig og ønsker dig lykke på vejen, så nemlig for du vil.
Hi there, this is your modern shaman Maria in RainbowLand here with the weekly forecast. It starts at the 31st of July and ends at the 6th of August. I'm out here in nature here at our new home on the countryside, an old farm turned into a non-farm, but more rather than a park-ish natural spot in the middle of the oldest forest of Denmark. Such a spiritual capital. It's just close to the ashram, the WAUW ashram, where so much transformation and transmission meditations has been going on since '92. There's kind of like a hole to the sky here, or to the heavens here. The energy is so different. When I came here the first time with the television crew of one of the television stations I was working on years ago, we were driving through the area, and at the time I consciously didn't know there was an ashram here and that the energy was different. And I asked, by chance we drove here, of course we were supposed to pass here, and then I tell the driver, the owner of the television station, he's driving the car, I'm saying, please stop, I need to take a picture right here, and we're just close to this place. I want to live here one day, I say. Why? It's in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I'm saying, you try to look around and then tap into the energy here. Of course, they thought I was some sort of a freak, because, and at the same time they knew what I was talking about. He was also into nature and stuff, but not as spiritual. But they kind of got it or didn't get it, doesn't matter what. I just knew already then that this was where I was gonna live. And then a couple of years later, I discovered the ashram, heartfulness, Hjelmborg. And I discovered that actually so many people are working on using the energy right here, because it has such a powerful connection to the higher realms. And now the prediction has come true, and I live here. I live in Tokyo. We live in Tokyo, me and my twin flame. Again, I will make a program about twin flames because it's rather interesting. Many people are finding their twin right now because we're incarnating with our counterpart that usually are on the other side, in the other realm, but we are coming down simultaneously because we need to alter something here on the planet Earth. Right now, the energy needs to alter and go from changing from the yang energy, the masculine energy, the patriarchal society, into more matriarchal, yin, feminine. And this has nothing to do with feminism at all. So if you are a guy watching this, Mooney, my dog, she's 15 by the way, Leo. If you're a guy watching this, don't worry, it concerns us all, but especially the guys actually. It doesn't mean that we will let go of the patriarchal good things that we obtain. So of course this doesn't mean that we have to let go of all the good things that we learned through the patriarchal times. We will have a balance between them. You know, it's like any kind of vehicle with too much weight on one side that's driving, misusing one side of the car because there's too much weight on one side and too little on the other. Any kind of vehicle driving like that will be ruined over time or damaged. Anything out of balance, doesn't matter what it is, will eventually have to find its balance, and this is the turning point that we have reached. So it's a connection with Mother Earth. That is the yin energy. With nature. So if you felt more drawn to getting into nature, swimming in the lakes, as you also will see in one of the videos here, connecting, you know, like I'm doing here with the trees, being barefoot, stepping, you know, walking barefoot, feeling the ground, reconnecting with the feminine side. Also being able to listen. That is one of the very, very important parts of this. And I've had it in my life, I've had stuff going on in my life where I've had to explain what I meant by listening, because I would often say to someone, oh, it would be awesome if you could listen a little more to what I was saying. And the person didn't say, well, I am listening, but I felt, no, this person is not listening. And then I had to, you know, then I had to explain and even realize myself, what did I actually mean by that listening? And of course it meant that that person was mentally listening to the words, getting the concept of what I was saying, but was not listening with the heart. It wasn't giving space and room for what I was saying in this person's system. Because the person said, but I don't agree with what you're saying, that's why you feel like I'm not listening. I'm like, I don't need you to agree with what I'm saying, I need you to really hear what I'm saying. You know, because often we tend to interrupt, oh, I already know what you're saying, then we interrupt halfway through the sentences and play the ball back. But that's the masculine ego side, wanting to prove the point, prove one's own point, instead of actually feeling into, where do you come from? We are 7 billion people, 4 million and something people here on this planet. So there's just as many realities, and this means that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about accepting in our hearts and in our whole being where the other person is coming from. That is real listening. And that is a feminine side, a feminine aspect. And whether you're a man or a woman, we're both as bad at it, because we always focus upon giving our opinion instead of receiving what you are coming with. And it's not the mental categorizing, conceptualizing what the other person is saying. I'm talking about listening with the whole body. Just being, allowing yourself to receive, allowing your inner child to come out, allowing your inner world to be real and to be there and have space and room and to have its silent voice. You don't always have to speak to say something. You can just be in a room and be the example, because we need the light workers to stand out now. We need the light workers to come forward, move forward. I have been here with Heartfulness. There's been a seminar because of a master's birthday, and now a family seminar coming up close to this ashram. So people from all over the world has been here, and especially from France and Germany and Russia, Uzbekistan, so many different regions of the world. So I was talking about astrology as the lunar eclipse was there, and there were people that never saw me before, but I was just talking and they saw the blood moon behind me as I was going through the signs. It was spacey because they hadn't gotten any idea of what I looked like, and that was the most awesome moment for me, because they listened with their hearts to what I was saying, not just conceptualizing. They didn't have to focus upon me or whatever. That's why it's nice right now that I am not close to the camera, but you can see the nature, you can see the lake. I don't know how easy it is to see because it's so green, and the green is reflecting in the lake, which is the earth, and the water is the feminine energy. And Mooney over there, nature, you know, she has a good, animals has good earth connection because they have 4 legs, so they have something to touch the earth, the ground with. But I was with these people, and I felt this unity, this connection. So look upon your own life. Who is the soul group that you really feel connected to, that gives you something that makes you want to move forward towards being the highest potential of yourself, towards actually making a difference on this planet. Especially I felt this feminine union. I also had a reading with this wonderful, also Heartfulness girl or woman, And she was also talking, just as I have been several times around the Cancer eclipse and also to the Cancerians, about how the yin energy needs to come forward. Then she starts during the reading also talking about it, and so many things during the reading came up where we just felt this union so strongly. And the same thing happened with the people from Heartfulness, and we went to swim in a lake. Amongst others, these amazing women, one from Uzbekistan, another one from Russia, Moscow. And we went swimming together in this lake, amongst others. There was also 2 other people. And I talked about this, that we need to bring it forward on the earth and the planet, and they're very spiritual people. For years and years they've been meditating, cleaning and being responsible for the journey here on life, on earth. So one of the women came this morning after morning meditation, satsang at the ashram, and she said, I really felt what you were saying, that's true, that's what we need to do. This is what we need to alter, and we need to not take the manipulative side of the feminine nature and misuse it in ways where we seduce the men to do something for us. That's also power, that's a misuse. What I'm meaning is give space for other people's feelings. It doesn't matter if you agree or not, it's not about agreeing. So the camera overheated. It's not about agreeing, it's about really listening. To hold each other, you know. To make space, to make room for each other. That's when you connect on a heart level. That's where you connect not only with the mind, but with your whole system. And that's what we need to learn as a species now. Because the reason why we are effing up the earth is because we don't listen to her signals anymore. We can't hear her. Because we've trained the mind, the rational mind, to be the only sound we're listening to. But real listening, we forgot. The yin energy is the earth. So we can't hear the earth talk to us anymore. We don't really hear each other. Because especially men are trained to not feel. Oh, you're a real man, Tarzan. You know, you're not supposed to cry. But that's the error. That's spot on the imbalance on this planet. Another example is that we have Mars retrograding, right? And it was even conjuncting more or less this full moon lunar eclipse last week that was so powerful. And Mars is assertiveness and my will this way, it's willpower, you know. So Mars is wanting things to be a certain way. And Mars retrograde is learning to let go of wanting things to be a certain way. Learning to release your idea of that things has to be this way and start being receptive. The yang energy is also Mars, and the yin. The yang energy wants to penetrate, it wants to move forward, it wants to have success, it wants to go this way and da-da-da. It controls it dominates, etc. The yin energy receives. So the yang gives, the yin receives. If you let go of that things has to be a specific way, I want things this way, I want my house to be like this, because of all the Leo, we have the Leo Taurus things activating. You want things to be this way, exactly like that, this is what you desire, this is what you want. But with Mars retrograde, you need to let go of that. And then you can start receiving what your higher self actually wants. So it's also about trusting the process. I always say that a lot. Trust the process. I also say it to myself, of course. I'm just channeling also right now, right? So we need to learn how to trust the process and receive the information. Receive and notice the signs that are all over the place. And this eclipse was just a precursor, as I said 2 weeks ago with the Cancer eclipse, it's just a precursor for what's going to happen and go down over the next 2 years, and it will just intensify. So you better practice your skill of letting go of the need to control. Because then even better ways can be shown to you. The distrust is breaking the harmony, it's ruining the harmony. And distrust is also praying for what you don't want. So start focusing upon what it is you really want. And this channel and my readings as an astrologer, I've noticed that I never get a client that's just one that talks about the superficial things. I get all the light workers that has deep, profound things they want to change on a karmic level. I have Pluto exactly on top of my, in sun sign astrology, in opposition to my sun. On the tip of the 7th house. This means that where I meet other people, I can have the benefits. I can also have the non-beneficial things, but I've learned to deal with it more and more over the years. But I can have the benefits of Pluto going very deep within and transforming on a very deep level. So it's never just, you know, so if you're on this channel and you feel drawn to what I'm saying, even though you also see me, you know, in my designs and maybe looking a little, for some people, some spiritual people, like someone who cannot give a message like this. That's why I said it was nice that people couldn't see my face when I was talking during the blood moon eclipse. They said there were around 30 people at one point, and I didn't even realize who they were, and they didn't know who I was, so I could just channel the messages from the other side, you know, and without focusing on how I look or whatever. So please don't feel distracted by anything like that, and focus upon that. I know that people that are getting attracted to me are here to really join with me, unite with, not just with me, but with the energy of the people, everyone who wants to find the core of their life purpose, to do their duty as a light worker. And to do your duty as a light worker is not necessarily having a lot of followers or likes or being famous for this, and that has nothing to do with how many people you reach, and nothing to do with how many likes you get. You know, this is Leo. These are Leo times while the North Node is still in Leo till October, November. This is about being your true, authentic self. Daring to be that. And once you integrate the yin energy, you automatically touch people around you. You don't even have to speak. But in order to get in there, you have to feel the different things you've been escaping, because the yin energy is also the introversion. And if you have kept running for something on the outside and pushing forward instead of surrendering and receiving, there's some work you need to do, and you're probably already doing it. If you're watching this, you are a spiritual person. Otherwise, you probably left the channel already. The yin energy is also spiritual, because to receive spiritual messages, you have to be open to receive. And the receptive side is the yin, the feminine side. This, of course, again, I have to say, masculine, feminine has nothing to do with man, woman. It's a natural side of you know, the yin and yang symbol, white, black, with the opposite color dot inside of it, integrated in a beautifully harmonious way. So you better be prepared, because this is just the first out of some eclipses that are going to be intensified. So better learn to release and surrender, let go of the things that you no longer need. You don't need to control things. Let them go. When you clash with someone or something, practice your yin energy. Don't react. See if you can hold them in your space with no words. That way it can be healed, whatever they're going through. They're just projecting, perhaps, or maybe they're mirroring something inside of you that you need to look upon. But you cannot listen with your whole system and hear your higher self speaking if you're always on the I want this quest of your ego or your willpower. So now we are asked to turn down our yang energy while Mars is moving retrograde. We also have Mercury moving retrograde, so the rational mind that wants to figure all things out needs to let go and reconsider instead, revise, in order for a new period to come. Okay, my dog is getting inappropriate. This is essential also in your relationships. If you think about the times where you and your partner, in any kind of partner, so business partner, any friends, where you haven't understood each other simply by the fact that you didn't accept and recognize that their reality was just as real as yours. And as we open up to our spirituality, which is also the yin energy, the intuition is very much Cancer. We have to focus upon that for the next couple of years. The third eye. Then it's so much easier for us to accept the different realities there are. And we will have less quarrels, less confrontation, less problem. Wherever the South Node is where we feel trapped, and it's in Aquarius, close to Mars. So there can be an underlinement of what the Aquarius energy, the downside of the Aquarius energy is that you just have a revolting or revolution for the sake of the revolution, or the revolting trying to change something that maybe even doesn't even needs to be changed. So that I strongly encourage you not to do. Also, if you look upon, like, it's also humanitarian organizations, and there have been so much in the media around that they use all the money on salaries, and none of the money actually goes to the people that people pay to help, like stuff like that. There are many different examples, but I would rather focus upon where we could go potentially as a community, as a society, rather than focus upon what could go wrong. So the yin energy is just softness. You know, allowing a soft side to come out. Like my partner always say, oh, this is your sweet, soft side. And you can hear it when my voice turns in a specific way. And he's good at it. He has a good energy, yin energy. He has a strong balance between the yang and the yin. He's very masculine at the same time as he's very feminine. He has both sides, and you don't lose anything. Oh, Moon is still here. I mean, you don't lose any dignity as a man for doing that. This is what gives him the most strength, is that he has this balance. It's so much stronger to have your feminine and your masculine side being in balance. So that rawness that we have seen at it, oh, it's cool, you know, we have tattoos all over and be raw and right. I'm not saying there's anything bad in having tattoos, that's not what I mean. It's just that I come from a town, a harbor town, where there was so much rawness, and always heavy and death metal, and that's also something you can ground by that, and you can face your demons. So it's not that this should not be there at all. It's just that there's been an imbalance between that we have to be masculine and raw and move forward and push through, and to just let our soft side show. So it's about trusting, because of course some of us that have shown our soft side and has been knocked down for doing it can have some fear about showing the spiritual side of you, showing your weaknesses. But there's a strength. The cool people are the ones who dare to actually show their weaknesses. Oh, I just wanted to check out that she was not jumping into the water now. Went to the lake yesterday, she loved that. So let your sweetness come through, man or woman, and inspire others to do so, is what I encourage you to do. And trust the process. Let go of the need to control. One of the songs we made, the duo, Maria, Dahol and I, we made in 2002. It's a song. It's very much in connection with the feminine. Because, and I will sing it before we go into your personal sun sign. Something to do with your breath as well, because in any inhale is followed by an exhale. But if we keep taking in, wanting more and more, we don't release, that balance is also bad for the body, you know. Like when we are very stressed and breathe only up here, and we never breathe in to our stomach and feel the whole body. Then we lose the earth connection and the calm, the peace, the balance. Because we take in more and more and more, but we never release and surrender the out breath. There's many yoga practices and meditations. Again, I always encourage you to find the right meditation form for you, or yoga, or whatever can make you go a little more into. I always recommend heartfulness, because I've tried so many different throughout the last 20 years systems, and this is just by far the most powerful one. You can always write me, look at the email in the text, if you want to know where there is a free, because it's a free organization. People do it voluntarily, so there are people all over the world. That's just as I said, the women I was connecting to, and also some men, not some men, many women and women all over the world that are here to help you if you want to learn how to meditate and get the transmission, because in heartfulness you get the level of the meditation turned up like ×5. It's not mindfulness, because we want to get out of the mind and into the heart. That's why it's called heartfulness. But the breath is important, the inhale and the exhale. And sometimes if you make the exhale longer, you let go more easily. So in 2002 we made this song. It goes like this. Breathe in the summer magic, breathe out. Feel the wind by the sea as you're walking with me. Breathe in, relax your body, breathe out. Feel the heat of the sand as we walk hand in hand. A day without rain, I feel alright. Horizons of lights on a darker day, warm winds of change. It's a good life. Horizons will light up the way. Yeah. So this is also about the glasses you wear. You know, if we choose to see the light, it's gonna be there, because we manifest like this, what we think. I'm strong, our thoughts are strong, stronger than we sometimes realize. Quantum healing is instant healing. There's nothing weird about it. It's you choosing to heal a part of yourself. It's you choosing to go another direction. Warm winds of change. You choose if they're cold or they're warm. The downside of Aquarius is that it can be cold. Co-ruled by Saturn, which is cold. You can always hear if people are following their hearts, because it's warm. You feel it feels warm, what they're saying and doing. Also with yourself. But if you have trust and an open, warm heart, and you follow your heart, no matter what others say, the change will be good eventually. So keep staying on that track. We're having Uranus doing some things this week, but I'll mention that in your personal sun sign. This was for all the signs. And as I always keep saying, for me, the collective report is the most important, because we need to have a paradigm shift that's happening, whether we like it or not now. And as I sang in the song, hand in hand, we need to walk, because united we stand so much taller. Let's go to the personal signs. Yeah.
easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. Set you free to be loved. Oh, my love. Oh, feeling, sensing, healing. We are one, always and forever. Now I need the energy to break free, to see love. Oh, my love. Oh, Summertime, sommer du er min og jeg er vild med